Joining me now from Washington, D.C., Senior Legal Fellow and Deputy Director of the Edwin Meese Center at the Heritage Foundation, Thomas Jipping. Thomas, first of all, let's start with the polls. I don't believe the polls. I believe these polls are meant to send a message to the White House. I believe that they're rigged. I believe that they're often heavy Democrat. It's something to remember that we shouldn't be impeaching a president based on polling that's being done by the mainstream media, who's part of the problem.
Well, when you consider how little the American people in general, and certainly the mainstream media, know about the basics of our system of government, I mean, they're polling about something that the respondents are guaranteed to know nothing about. So, I mean, even if that weren't the case, these kinds of polls would be worth ignoring, but especially under these circumstances.
This is no small point that you make there, and it's a point that I've made on this program over and over and over again, and that is this is a teachable moment. It's a very important teachable moment for, I don't know, possibly the vast majority of Americans who haven't been taught the United States Constitution, don't understand impeachment, don't understand our history from 1868, 1974, and 1998. That said, we have the current Speaker of the House out there lying through her teeth, saying effectively, Thomas, that there is no constitutional, there is no congressional precedence of a full vote of the House of Representatives before proceeding with an impeachment inquiry, which is generally handed off to the Judiciary Committee. There is precedence.
I mean, that's as simple as, you know, what day is it today? What time is it? I mean, that's like saying up is down or 2 is 5. The fact is, for Bill Clinton in 1998 and for Richard Nixon in 1974, it's a matter of very simple public record. The full House of Representatives launched the impeachment inquiry by passing a resolution, and that resolution authorized one committee, the Judiciary Committee, to begin an investigation. Today, all Nancy Pelosi said was go, and you have 6 different committees going rogue, following whatever rules they want to follow. This couldn't be radically different from the way presidential impeachments have been done in the past.
Right, and unfortunately, this is being perpetuated on the American people again because of their ignorance. They don't necessarily understand their history. But let's look at the Constitution, shall we? Because apparently Nancy Pelosi is looking at the Constitution a little bit differently than the way I do Article 1, Section 2. The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers and shall have the sole power of impeachment. So what Pelosi is doing here, she's attempting to split hairs, right? She's reading into or not reading into what the United States Constitution says. But we know, Thomas, we know what the framers of the Constitution meant there. And if you read between the lines in the Federalist Papers, I think you can find it there as well. And that is, for such a solemn process, a process that some say is maybe only second to declaring war, such a solemn process needs to involve all of the representatives, not just one faction and one party.
Yeah, the Speaker Pelosi took an oath to support and defend the Constitution, but she doesn't pay a lot of attention to it. You're right, the Constitution gives the sole power of impeachment to the House, but, you know, our system of government, though, is based on the people choosing their own leaders, and we do that through elections. So impeachment, you know, gets in the middle of that and effectively neutralizes the last election. Anybody with common sense knows that that should be for the most serious misconduct, and certainly the leader of the House of Representatives should.
And the White House letter responding to this impeachment inquiry without a full vote of the House of Representatives, I believe, is dead on target. And I think that the President of the United States in the Article 2 branch has the right to say, hey, you know what, we're not going to play your game unless you follow the constitutional and congressional precedents. You agree?
Well, I do, and I urge people to read that letter for themselves. Don't listen to how the media characterizes it or what you may have heard about it. The letter is available. You need to read it because it cites chapter and verse. It's 8 pages long. It's got a lot of detail showing how these things have been done in the past. I got to say, if Democrats wanted to fashion an impeachment process that was least credible and most partisan, they're doing it today. Right. I mean, they should be doing it differently, but it's almost like they're going out of their way to be as political and as partisan as possible.
If the impeachment numbers are actually up, it is because of the ignorance of the vast majority of the American people. Thomas, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.